Berlin Marathon is one of the most iconic marathons in the world. It's where the world records hold, and it's where the world record has just been broken today by Eliud Kipchoge. I've caught up with 6 inspirational runners who have been training for the last couple of months in order to try and run a fast first marathon and also try and break some PBs as well. After graduating from the Zwift Academy Run program, a series of group runs and structured workouts to build endurance and speed, these 6 runners were selected from Academy graduates and have received coaching from 2 of the world's best coaches, along with access to top quality equipment to get them race day ready.
You want to be there 20 minutes ahead. My name is Terrence Mahan, and I am the lead coach for the Zwift Academy Run program. I guess my first piece of advice for anyone who's going to do a marathon, maybe don't do it. I'm just kidding. My first piece of advice would understand that it's going to be a commitment. So if you're picking a marathon, pick it far enough away, pick it at a time that's going to work with your lifestyle so that you can give that full commitment and really enjoy it on the day.
You can talk to experienced runners, pro runners, and just about no one's had a perfect buildup. So just realize there's going to be ups and downs, but just embrace the whole process and just really enjoy it.
I started running after I lost 30 kilos and was looking for a way to keep off the weight and didn't realize how much I would really enjoy running.
I've done 5 marathons now. This will be my sort of biggest one yet, with the biggest training plan before it.
And I'm here to run my first marathon.
I wanted to break my flat marathon record, personal record, which is a 2:52.
I started running very, very late. I'm 39 when I started running.
It's the first marathon in my life.
The reality is all these athletes are coming from Zwift, right? They love the platform.
Zwift has just been like the social running group that I needed.
It's been absolutely amazing for my training. It's just part of the community. You can sort of see other runners, you can communicate with other people as well while you're doing your sessions. They host a lot of group runs and a lot of group workouts.
In the past, when I was running on my own or I didn't even share my workouts with people, it was too easy for me to skip a workout and not feel any repercussion for it or not have any guilt about it. But now, feeling like people are following me, feeling like everyone's been supportive, having a coach interested, having my fellow teammates that we all talk about our workouts with, has really just helped improve.
Once these 6 runners had been selected for the Zwift Academy Run program 2022, their training began with 2 expert coaches, Terrence and Jen, who were there to put them through their paces and get them to race day with the goals that they were aiming for. But what are the key things to think about in training?
When it comes to training, the most important thing to get right is just to do it, first of all. There's a consistency with the marathon, that's the most important thing. So being able to log the miles week in, week out. There needs to be no one special workout that defines whether you're going to have success in the marathon or not. It's just showing up every day.
The keyword for me is consistency. Putting in, day out. That's where you're going to get stronger and faster and get the best time marathon. There's no such thing as, super workout or super diet, because it is one sport that takes time and discipline.
It's really important to not let your own thoughts take over and rely on the coach's advice, and look at those paces and go, there's a reason that your coach has set these paces.
Just run the mile you're in. Every day, whatever you're doing, just run the mile you're in. And if you're not feeling good during that mile, that doesn't mean that the next mile is going to be bad. So wherever you are, just run the actual mile that you're in.
When it comes to setting the long run, I mean, that's probably the biggest question, athletes will have, well, how long am I going to go? I tend not to think of the length of a long run in terms of distance. I tend to think of it in terms of time, because there is a factor of just time on your feet. I'll typically kind of put the 3-hour mark for a slower athlete as kind of as far as I want to go, just because the recovery takes too long after that. And again, my goal for training is to get in that kind of week in, week out program. And if we go too long, then it beats them up too much. If we go too short, obviously it's not going to give enough of a stimulus to respect the distance, but it's going to be somewhere in between.
The most useful thing I've learned during training is to train smarter and not harder. I've been more worried about the pace and the speed when I've been running, and the training this period has been about smarter training, slowing it down, really focusing on my form and focusing on a recovery period. And when I've been racing, and I've raced a few races during the training period, it's really paid off. I'm a lot faster on my feet and I recover a lot quicker too.
In marathon training, we're going to have key runs out there that are kind of the staples of the program. For me as a coach, I always like to have 3 key runs in the week. One would be that's at or around marathon pace so that we learn the kind of tempo of it. The other would be an over distance or long run, pretty much the staple of anyone's weekend program. And then the other one I like to throw in is a speed session, mainly because my goal with the speed is to make marathon pace feel easy. So I know if I get those 3 runs in the week, then we're off to a good start in the training program.
The session that I found the most challenging were the hill workouts that Terrence had us doing each week. That was the one part of running that I was least comfortable with. It would always make my heart race and make me run out of breath. And so I never pushed myself to do that on my own. But then having Terrence checking up on us each week and giving me the hill repeats, now when I come up to a small hill or even a large hill, I just feel that much more confident and I can run through it without being really winded at the top of it. So it's made a huge improvement in my running.
So what's the most key thing to get right on race day? Well, here's what these guys think.
So it's interesting, right? Because most people will answer, the question of what's the hardest thing to do on race day for a new marathon runner, and everyone's gonna be like, oh well, it's you got to survive that last 10K, you got to not hit the wall. I actually would say the hardest part of race day on the marathon is the easiest part, and that's the first 10K. Because the first 10K is this element where you're so excited, you're feeling great, and most people just go too hard. And there's very few athletes out there who do what we would call a negative split in the marathon. They always positive split and they bonk the last part. But they do that because they kind of make the mistake of going too hard on the front end.
Don't go out too fast, calm for the first 10K, stick with nutrition plan. That's something that Jen's really worked with us on. So they kind of know the course, they're so experienced themselves, they know where we're going to need it and where we're going to need the extra boosts. So yeah, I think that's probably the main thing they want me to remember. And also stay positive as well. When it's not our job, it's something we do for fun. We've put a lot of pressure on ourselves by wanting to hit certain times, but you've got to remember to enjoy it.
The most important thing to get right on race day is to first have a plan, second follow the plan. A lot of people will come out with a plan, they'll be, have that plan all the way through the training program, and then race day, whether it's the excitement, the nerves, whatnot, they throw the plan in the bin and just start winging it. And that is when disaster strikes.
Just making sure you have your logistics down on what you're doing race morning, when you're going to eat, how you're going to get to the start, what you're eating the night before even, and your race day nutrition out on the course, and just being super organized, because some of those small things can send you a little bit off track. So just making sure you have it all down, you've thought it through before race day, so you're just on autopilot and you can just enjoy the experience as much as possible.
We just had that mindfulness session with Mary, and I loved her comment that every great race is about fun and gratitude. And I thought that was excellent. So just go out and have fun, and you're gonna have a good time.
The nerves, they can really mentally mess with you. Especially when you get to the start line and you see people with their own pre-race rituals. They're doing sprints, or they might be having a few more gels than you do, and it's about running your own race.
6 incredible runners who have spent the last few months giving everything they possibly can to their training. Did it pay off? Let's find out.
2, 1, go!
The mindset training the last few days we had with Mary at Adidas, she told us to sort of stay in the moment, stay present, talk to yourself in third person. So I was sounding like a bit of a mad person saying, Andrew, you can do this, you've got this. And that really helped get me through it. Terrence has also set us some really hard interval sessions, so trying to hit race pace late on into a long run really helped me, because I knew I could hit the required marathon pace to get towards the end.
Weather was perfect, the energy, the crowd. I was secretly going for a little bit of a stretch goal, so I was able to hit those paces.
till the late miles, just like, oh man, but I knew I had it. I knew I had my main goal, and it just felt so good.
Amazing. So you all of you broke your PBs?
Yeah.
You broke your goals?
Yeah, sure did. Way to go, Maria! I'm so proud of you! Wow! She passed me at the halfway point. I'm like, oh, you're gonna nail it. She looked good.
First marathon. That's so good.
Yeah, 248. I got my finish. How was yours?
2:47.
Wow, so good, Maria.
Yes, it was under my time, and that's my first marathon. It's absolutely great, really, so great.
So I definitely recommend to try out Zwift, especially for the threshold and tempo run. The support from the fellow other Zwifters, it really helps for us to get the workout finished.
That is the hardest, the most amazing thing I've ever done. It's just the best, nothing compares. Nothing compares. It's amazing.
And there's something about having that screen, knowing that there are other people out there. When you see their little characters, but you know there are real people out there suffering with you, whether you're just running to stay in shape or whether you're running for a marathon. But when you take it to a marathon extreme, you know, knowing that I was doing the speed work and stuff and that there were other people out there doing the same thing was just really critical. I've talked about the community a lot, but the Zwift community has just been amazing.
So, has this persuaded you to shoot for a new marathon PB? Well, let us know in the comments what you're going to be working towards, and head to Zwift.com to find out how you can join and run for free. Plus, registrations are now open for the next Zwift Academy Run. All the links you need are in the description of this video. And if you want to find out how to maximise your time on the treadmill, then click the screen now for some epic workouts.